My girlfriend abandoned her nephew on my doorstep and went on a girls' trip without telling me. So, I called her sister in child services and ended the relationship for good. It started like any other Friday evening. I had just wrapped up work and was looking forward to a quiet weekend. My girlfriend, Emily, had mentioned she was planning a weekend with her friends, but she was vague about the details. She'd been distant lately, but I chalked it up to stress or needing space. Around 7 p.m. there was a knock at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone, so I was surprised to see Emily's nephew, a 4-year-old named Jake, standing there with a small backpack. Emily was already halfway down the driveway, waving as she got into her car. "Emily, what's going on?" I called after her, confused. "Jake's spending the weekend with you." "I'll explain later," she shouted before speeding off. I stood there, stunned, with Jake holding my hand. He looked up at me with wide eyes, clearly as confused as I was. Once inside, I tried calling Emily, but she didn't pick up. I texted her repeatedly, asking what was happening. All I got back was a single message. "Relax, he's an easy kid. I'll pick him up Sunday night. Love you." Jake was a sweet kid, but this wasn't about him. It was about Emily's audacity to assume I'd be okay with this. We'd never discussed babysitting her nephew, let alone overnight. I called her sister, Lily, Jake's mom, hoping for some clarity. When she picked up, she was livid. "What do you mean Jake is with you?" Emily said she had to run an errand and would bring him back tonight. Apparently, Emily hadn't told Lily about her plans to leave Jake with me for the weekend. Lily was furious and said she'd come to pick Jake up immediately. While waiting, I tried to keep Jake entertained. We played games and I made him a quick dinner, but I couldn't shake the anger building inside me. When Lily arrived, she thanked me profusely and apologized for the inconvenience. She was visibly stressed and mentioned she'd been struggling as a single mom, but she didn't expect this kind of betrayal from her sister. That night, I decided I needed answers. I reached out to Emily's friends, who confirmed my suspicions. She had lied to them too, claiming Jake was with Lily for the weekend. Emily was already on her girls' trip in Miami, posting carefree pictures on social media. This was the last straw for me. The lack of communication, the manipulation, and the outright disregard for both me and her family were too much. I called Emily one last time to confront her. "Why did you dump Jake on me without asking?" I demanded when she finally picked up. "I knew you'd handle it. You're great with kids," she said dismissively, as if that justified her actions. "This isn't about being good with kids. You lied to everyone, including your own sister." Emily brushed it off, saying I was overreacting and that it was just one weekend. That's when I decided I was done. Out of concern for Jake and Lily, I called child services the next day to report the situation. I didn't want to cause trouble for Lily, but I felt it was important to document what Emily had done in case she tried something like this again. The social worker assured me they would follow up to ensure Jake was in a safe and stable environment. I also encouraged Lily to set stricter boundaries with Emily. When Emily returned on Sunday night, she acted as though nothing had happened. She even seemed surprised when she found her stuff packed in boxes by the door. "What's all this?" she asked, laughing nervously. "It's your stuff. We're done, Emily. You crossed a line I can't overlook." She tried to argue, but I stood firm. This wasn't just about the weekend, it was about trust, respect, and basic decency. Breaking up with Emily was a relief. It was clear she lacked the maturity and empathy I needed in a partner. I stayed in touch with Lily, who worked hard to rebuild trust with Jake and establish boundaries with her sister. As for me, I learned an important lesson about standing up for myself and recognizing red flags. This experience, though stressful, gave me clarity about what I want in a relationship, and what I'll never tolerate again. What do you think? Should I have handled it differently?